Hello, and we are back, and I am watching Bernard Smith. We're back to the Bernard series proper with the Audition, which I consider this to be, the next phase, the new era in the show. This is when I had my brand new Canon HV20, which I was able to get both through an eBay sale and also through a generous donation by Lorelei. This is the first time she bailed me out, and not the last. And I remember when I did this, I lived just down the street from a theater called the St. Lawrence, and I was always friendly with whoever ran it. So in this case, they let me go in and use the standing set that they had for some show. I don't know what it was. So I filmed this at the St. Lawrence Theater using their set, to do an audition. I would have done it no matter what was on there if it was just a stage, since it was an audition. No, they were always good people. Because they put on screenings of my work too over the years. No matter who was running the theater, they've always been good. So here we go. The Audition.
Come in, come in.
Hello.
Now you must be...
Bernard. Bernard Smith and Smith with an
That's
I.
excellent. Oh, is that your...
Yeah.
Good eye? Thank you. So have you been on camera before?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So, do you want to...
Okay.
For once, you can actually see him with the Church of Blow shirt.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
That's...
Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune,
that's
or
not...
take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them, to die,
Bernard, is it Bernard?
to sleep, no more.
Bernard?
Lie asleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die,
Bernard?
to sleep,
Bernard?
to sleep, perchance to dream.
Bernard?
Aye,
For God's sake.
there is the rub.
Thank you. Oh.
For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give pause.
Apparently not.
Bear the respect that means calamity for so long of life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely,
Oh, I'm gonna forget.
the long
There.
delay, the insolence of others.
I forget again.
Okay, that's great,
The
Bernard.
stern and patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietest make with a bare barking.
All we really need from you today is to read the slogan into camera. Say what? Hold it.
That's some fucking good coffee.
Again, please, more volume.
That's some fucking good coffee.
I have no voice left at the end of that. Well, so that was the voice of Mike Booth, and still doesn't sound like his real voice. It's somewhere in between his real voice and the Grey Bloke voice. At the time, he used to put more distortion on the voice. Now I don't think he does that anymore. I mean, he doesn't do it at all now, but in the more recent Grey Bloke videos, I think he just puts on his voice. But this was soon after we first started communicating, because I remember I was kind of aware of some Grey Bloke, and I just thought it was really cool that somebody was doing a video blog as an animated character. That was certainly novel. But it wasn't until I saw that he was subscribed to Church of Blow that that I actually started watching his videos, and I thought they were hilarious. And then we just, then I wrote to him, and I don't know what I wrote to him. I know I wanted animation. It may have what eventually turned out to be the legendary Bernard Smith, which he did also do the animation for, but a long time after. But anyway, I just contacted him saying, oh, would you be interested in maybe doing some animation? And he says, oh, I was actually going to contact you asking if you wanted to do a voice. And I was like, oh, great. And so then I asked him to do a voice for this, and I did a voice for a gray bloke around this time, uncredited for various reasons. And but it was fun. We both did this around the same time. We both, like, I remember the first time we spoke, and we did we read the scripts to each other. That was a good time. But yeah, no, it was nice of him to do the director voice. It's weird. It's uncomfortable watching that because I hate auditions. I'm really bad at auditions. I really am. That is me, actually. This is 100% accurate. I remember one time I had an audition for The Lion in Winter. And there's, in Portland, there's a lot more, the theater scene, there's a lot more going on now than there was at this time. Because at this time there was Portland stage and not a lot, I mean, in terms of professional theater, there was Portland stage. So to get an audition for this production was great. And it was for The Lion in Winter. And who the fuck, I can't remember the characters. I mean, it's been a long, like I saw the film a long time ago. I just know that, I was reading the script, and, I just thought to myself, oh, I'm going to nail this. I really thought I was going to nail it. And I go into the audition, and I basically became fucking Stewie Griffin from Family Guy. It's like, oh, I was reading like this, and and like, it was just so not, like in terms of being over the top, wasn't that different from the audition. And it was kind of like the director had to sort of talk me down. It's like, okay, just talk like you're talking to your brother. That's what the scene is. Talk to your actual brother. Imagine that's what you're doing. And I did it again. She's like, okay, that was good. But still, I just kind of went. Which I guess in an audition, if you can demonstrate that you can take direction and you can alter things, that is a good thing. But still, it's not the only audition that I blew in that fashion. Man, fucking hate auditions. But, yeah, as I've said before, I really wish I had been further along in the series by the time I did YouTube Is My Life, because this is a weird place for the series to resume after, YouTube Is My Life was almost like throwing a boulder into the lake and ripples and all that. And then, same is true of the next one, Godot, because again, the gaps in between the videos started getting wider. And but with this next one, this is where I was finally able to get my friend Keith to play Fishhook. And Keith is someone who I'd done theater with before. We were in a show called Naked in Portland, and that was great fun. That was back in 2003, so I'd known him for about 5 years at this time. We were almost in another show, just maybe a year or two before we did this. We were in a show written by it was like the same team that did Naked in Portland. And I remember I was going to play this guy who works for this really homophobic preacher. I was playing a guy who was in the closet, like And God, it's been a long time. I don't actually remember. The show was canceled, so it never actually happened. But we were in the rehearsal phase. It was canceled because somebody dropped out of it, so it kind of fell apart. It was later relaunched with a different cast. But anyway, Keith was going to play my lover. Like once I came out. It's like it's a story about how, like of my character sort of being dragged out of the closet. And Keith was going to play some kind of investigative reporter. So it's just weird in retrospect thinking, because now I associate Keith so strongly as Fishhook and like us as the Bernard and Fishhook team, that to think back is like, oh yeah, we were gonna play lovers. That would have been very interesting. But yeah, he was so great as Fishhook, and it's weird because I think in the end we only ended up doing 4 videos together, and it's a shame because there was a lot more scripted, and in this video in particular, I think at a certain I remember, because I was having trouble finding a Fishhook for a while, or Keith is a busy guy. At one point I just thought, well, should I just keep playing Fishhook too and just do the double act? And at that time I couldn't even do split screen on my old fucking iBook. So I was like, that's another thing I was asking Mike Booth. It's like, maybe could you? It just seemed so impractical. I would send him the footage and he would help me with the split screen. It was just so stupid. Just get another fucking actor. Don't overcomplicate things. But so finally, so it was a big deal to actually arrange this. Finally, we introduce Fishhook.
This is my oldest friend Fishhook, who you saw me portray in a featured video, which is a little skit that I wrote.
That you wrote.
And Fishhook is also an actor.
That you wrote.
That what?
That you wrote.
That I wrote, yes. Fishhook is also an actor.
Let's not brush this off, please. That you wrote? Come on. Who?
Okay, fine. This is Fishhook, who wrote a featured video.
I need a haircut.
This is the man who got one of my videos.
You can also hear my heater in the background. It's very loud.
So tepid and unoriginal.
And this tiny space heater.
Hard work to sustain his so-called jokes. That you?
Harsh, dude.
Wendy Carlos was absolutely right not to be associated with your junk. The woman has taste.
Shall we move on?
Apology accepted. This Fishhook here is also an actor. He's more of a stage actor.
Currently appearing and waiting for Godot at the Orpheum Theater, Boston. Get something great.
Don't do that.
Do what?
Don't pour your stupid play on my channel. It makes us both look bad.
It's just a little advertising, no harm in that. It really is a great production. If you get a chance to stop along and see it, I think you should. You're going to not be sorry.
Do you know how many of my subscribers are in Boston?
No, Bernard.
Well, neither do I, but probably not many. Okay? Something you need to understand about you and your little production.
Little production. It's a big theater. I probably get more people in to see my production every week than you have subscribers at all,
Yeah,
Bernard.
fine. You and your little production are local. Okay? I'm global. I've got subscribers in the Czech Republic, Ulaanbaatar, Rhode Island. They are not coming to see your show.
Do you really have subscribers in Ulaanbaatar?
No, I just like saying Ulaanbaatar. Anyway, you're missing the point. They are not coming to see your show, so you look like an idiot for asking. I look like an idiot for hanging out with an idiot, so don't do it.
It's just a little promotion. No harm.
Yeah,
Bernard,
well,
chill.
okay, fine, okay, no, fine. A little bit of self-promotion, ladies and gentlemen. Go and check out Fishhook in Waiting for Godot.
He's improvising in the margins.
23rd East Street, Boston, Massachusetts. I will get the phone number for you. You should run along and see it. I'm in it too.
You're not in it.
Yes, I am.
You didn't pass the audition, Bernard.
Yeah, I did. I played Godot.
There's no... Maybe we should say how I got the name Fishhook.
No.
No, it's an interesting story. I think people would like to hear this.
No, it's not.
It is.
It really is.
It is interesting. And if you're going to be around for a while, I might be a regular guest.
Really
And that way it won't be a mystery. People would start to say, why is that guy named Fishhook anyway, right? I mean,
really would not be a mystery.
How did it
because
happen?
Nobody cares. This is my channel. My viewers care about me. Okay, if you want to tell the Fishhook story, you can get your own channel. Okay, you can tell it there. You might want to bear in mind that YouTube does want all of its material to be equivalent to PG-13. You know, that little anecdote might be overstepping the mark.
I just thought it would be an interesting story that people might want to hear, Bernard.
Okay, fine. Tell your story. Tell your story. The floor is yours. Build up your part so I can, you know, get comments like, "You're a prick. I want to see more of Fishhook." You know, knock yourself out.
Well, we were 7 or 8 years old. 7, I think.
7.
And we were hanging out down by the Charles River under an overpass after school one day, and you're not just going to edit this out, are you?
Why would I edit this out?
It's
I told you to tell the story. Now tell the fucking story.
Dude, it's just a long story. I would hate to
Jesus
get to the end only
Christ.
have you cut it out.
Okay, look. Just tell the story.
Okay. No. Damn it, Bernard, you've got it. You've got that. You've got it.
What?
You've got the look.
Got what look?
You've got the I'm gonna edit Fishhook's story out of the video look.
Look, I
Bernard.
swear on my mother's life, I will not edit out your stupid, insular story nobody cares about. Okay, I am your favorite person in the
not
world.
stupid.
You know me well enough to know by now I would never go back on my word, so fuck.
It's not stupid.
I know there's an alternate take where he goes, "It's not insular."
So we're 7 years old and we're hanging out underneath this overpass.
Oh, Quentin, hi, this is Bernard Smith. That's Smith with an I. Look, I am a big fan of your work. Huge fan. Not your acting work in particular, but your other work. Your other work is amazing. The way you managed to stretch half hours worth of plot over 4 hours is... Oh, you're not that Quentin Tarantino. I did think it was odd you were in the Boston phone book, but I didn't think there could be 2 people with that name. You must get that a lot. Huge. Yeah.
Nice. Forgot about that phone call. Though I really needed a haircut. It's funny because Keith's performance, he was trying to do, because I told him in the featured video that's Bernard doing Fishhook, so it's Bernard doing a caricature of Fishhook, and so Keith tried to kind of make his performance a realistic version of that person that I'm doing. That's why he throws in the dude. As if that's the thing that Bernard picked up on. Oh, can you skateboard? But that was fun. The one working with Keith was always a lot of fun. I think I could have cut that quite a bit, and the heater that fucking distracts me. So I needed a haircut. I should have cut that quite a bit. I mean, the awkwardness is good, but at the same time, this is a video where it's like at this point in the series, again, the widening gaps. I think a lot of people were like, what's going on here? What? Because this should have been like just one in a series of rapid videos. I wish I had gotten these out sooner. And then there's the next. Should I move on to the next one? I think I will. Rate my DVDs. This is an interesting one because I think this was supposed to come much later, and then I bumped it up because it's a sketch. Also in Godot, we kind of throw it away. I don't know if people pick up on it. That this is where we establish Bernard never writes his own stuff. So anytime he does a sketch, it's written by somebody else, and we should assume it's written by Fishhook. Fishhook wrote the featured video sketch, and anytime Bernard does anything that's a sketch and not just him talking, we assume he got it from Fishhook. And so I think the same is true of Rate My DVDs. This is a Fishhook sketch that Bernard has stolen. This was always the subtext, which we never, again, because I never got to, there's later episodes that I never got to, but this was always kind of the subtext of these sketches. Nice. Oh, I love the Willy Wonka music. Oh,
it
there's
is
my
my proud
Kermit.
pleasure to introduce
Same
a
one I
man
have
who
right
needs
over there.
no introduction. Bernard Smith and his new act, Rate My DVDs. Yay!
I think I lowered the pitch of my voice slightly because I was trying to do the Jim Henson Kermit, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it needs to be higher," because the Steve Whitmore Kermit is higher. But
Yeah. Okay. Let me know where that came from. Where you get a load of
what the fuck? Yeah, another spam call. I've actually been getting calls from family today, so it's and I would have just spoken to them on camera, because fuck it, why not? Anyway, resume. New Holland Drive.
It's a modern classic. This is gonna knock you out.
Joan of Arc. I don't have any of these anymore.
This is Carl Theodore Dreyer. It's one of the most important films in cinema history. Okay. Okay, fine.
Because I sold all my DVDs. I wish I hadn't. Ah! I used to have the Hitchcock box set. Man, oh man. I had a great collection.
What? No, no one cares. Why should you care? Come on. Here we go. Play. Give me. Drum roll. No drum roll. Fine. I don't need a drum roll. Got Sullivan's Travels.
Sullivan's Travels.
Sullivan's Travels. We got Dazzle. Like a Dazzle. No like Dazzle. What we got? Good, the Brand Kill. Is Brand Kill anyone? Brand Kill. We got
Danger Diabolic.
Okay. I think I know what we're dealing with here. We just have a fucking demo, please. I got it this time. I swear to God, just play the fucking tape. There we go. You fucking monster. I made it. Okay, who threw that? Was that you, sir?
I'm going to have to ask you to step off the stage. I'm going to have to step. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't touch your food.
Okay, fine. You know what? You win. I'm going. Okay?
Oh, Doctor Who. My collection was much smaller back then. I still have all the Doctor Who, obviously. It's really the only part of my DVD collection I still have. That's a strange one because, you know, when I moved into that apartment, the landlord, his parents lived above me, and I remember, you know, when I moved in, you know, he was telling me, you know, we want a quiet tenant. And it took me a long time to realize I could make a lot of noise and they still couldn't hear me. So if I was making a video, I could raise my voice pretty well. I mean, you look at because the Colonel Alistair videos that I did were shot in the same room. But I can tell I'm really holding back. I'm being really quiet, and I wish I hadn't. I should have sounded like I was in front of an audience and trying to project. I mean, some of it was fine. Some of the more underhanded stuff, I think, or the quiet stuff was good with Kermit and all that stuff. No, but it feels weird to watch that now. It's like, oh, yeah. I was being quiet and I didn't need to at that point. But anyway, the premise of this is another one based entirely on the Internet Movie Database message boards, because on Film General in particular, people would always post their DVD collections. Oh shit, oh the battery's blinking. Battery's gonna run out soon. People would always post their DVD collections and ask people to rate them. That would be the name of the thread, Rate My DVDs. And so this was like a sketch that we made specifically so that, you know, to post it on IMDb. Oh, and that was great. Those were the days. I miss IMDb. Fuck. Why did they have to close that shit? Oh, lordy. Is there anything else to say about that? I don't know. Yeah, I think I gotta stop this because that red blink is intimidating. So I will see you all next time, and we will resume with Francis Ford Coppola, which is another another video where the series takes yet another turn. So I will see you then.